This week was actually supposed to be a profitable week for me, but I ended up ending the week break even. Why? Because how I like to say it is, as a trader, your backtesting performance is just like your gym pump. You will never ever catch up to it. You will always be better backtesting than you will live trading. The key is to always chase it. So as you improve all your backtesting, you're bringing up your live trading up and up and up and up and up. So every week, your goal should be to try and perform as good as you can when you backtest. Because how many of y'all niggas backtest every day and you're supposed to be a fucking millionaire by the end of the year? I know that's me personally. I'm supposed to have been a millionaire. But for some reason, you always just fuck that shit up. So this is how I fucked up this week up. I turned a profitable week into a break-even week. Let's get into it. So we start off on Tuesday. But Dave, why did you trade on Monday? That's exactly why you're not motherfucking profitable. Monday was Memorial Day. If you traded, you're a fucking donut. We start off on Tuesday. What do? We mark out our session opens. New York session, London session, Asian session. And obviously, this is some sessions low right here, but this is clearly a key level. So we mark out this low as well. We go down to the 5-minute. This is the low. The high is all the way up here. This is the low. The high of London session is all the way up here. We play it forward. Price doesn't tap our level, so we don't get into this trade. Boom. Price tapped into our level. This is the inverse I went with. I saw this inverse that we got right here. I entered into a long position. Stop loss below this candle. Targeting 1 to 1.5. So technically just these highs. I had traded. And when I seen that we swept this high right here, but didn't want to go to this high, I started taking off some partials, and then we eventually came to break even, and TP would have eventually been hit, right? What does my system tell me? My system tells me no fucking break even. Once I seen this happening right here, I should have let this trade come all the way back down into drawdown and then go up to hit my take profit. This is just a system that I've back tested for so long. So on Tuesday, I ended up trading and getting down here like a 1-to-1 trade versus this should have been a 1 to 1.65 RR trade. Cool. So it's Tuesday, we're already fucking up. Let's move on to Wednesday. Want to mark out Wednesday's New York Open. Want to mark out the London. Want to mark out the Asian. Fast forward all the way over. Oops, cheated a bit. So, what trade did we take on Wednesday? Go down to the 5-minute time frame. Mark out session low, session high. The same thing over and over. Yes, I'm giving the strat away. I don't care. Session low. If it helps somebody out there, then it's God's will. What did we want to see? I want to see a tap session highs dump. Why? Let me give you all some analysis sauce. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. I want to see it distribute, tap into the high, also this 1 hour fair value gap, this place lower, right? This is where I fucked up on Wednesday. We're waiting, boom, perfect. We tapped into the highs. Which fair value gap are we looking at? You just have to find one. Do we see any in here? No, this is a nice one right here. Boom. There's also another one right here. Old fair value gaps still work. Look at how this fair value gap up here kept working. We closed above it here, but instantly rejected back to the downside. We could never displace past this fair value gap. So these fair value gaps here, they still work. Boom. Once I saw this, we closed below this one and this one. I got into a short. Stop loss where? I'm not putting my stop loss all the way up here. That's OD. So I decided to use this candle's high. What am I targeting? I was targeting a 1 to 2. Should have been somewhere around there, right? This is where I fucked up at. What does my strategy tell me? No more break-evens. Win or lose, no more break-evens. What did I do? I went break-even. I instantly got stopped at break-even. What does the trade proceed to do? Smash TP. So Wednesday was a break-even trade, but I was supposed to win again on Wednesday. So on Tuesday, I only got a 1-to-1. On Wednesday, I didn't win. Already fucking up. Let's move on to Thursday. Okay, go on the 5-minute. Mark out London session high, London session low, Asian session high, Asian session low. And I also want to mark out other key areas of liquidity. Like this is definitely a key area right here that we should watch out for. So what happens if we play it out? We get a whole bunch of nothing. I wanted to see if this placed lower. We didn't get it. We kept shooting higher and higher. So this is where I started messing up at. I started using this high on Thursday. I'm already fucking up. Why am I using this high? I don't know. You will never be as good as your backtesting. You will never be as good as your backtesting, because when you're live trading, you start looking for dumb shit. You start looking for any reason to get into a trade. It happens to, I'm a full-time trader on this. I still do it. It happens to the best of us. You will never be as good as your backtesting dad. But I start using this high, and this looks like a nice sweep. Cool. So I start looking to take an inverse fair value gap entry. I'm waiting still. Waiting. I take this entry. I go short right here because we get this fair value gap right here. Put my stops below this candle, and I'm targeting some lows. Stop loss. Instantly. On Thursday, I took a loser, but this is the trade that I'm actually supposed to take that's in my strategy, right? If I ignore this high, which I'm supposed to, right? Because I'm only looking at New York session, London session high, Asia session highs all the way down here. This is some previous session highs. I think this was the previous day's New York high, but that's too far. This is the major high over here that we're clearly aiming for. What did my strategy do? Became tapped Asian London session high. Inverse fair value gap up here. It's small, but it's an inverse. Entry, stop loss, TP. So Thursday I was supposed to win, and I lost again. Okay, day, you're not performing quite well. So you have a 1-to-1 on Tuesday. You have a break even on Wednesday. You have a loss on Thursday. I actually had, I'm lying, guys. I actually had 2 losses on Thursday. I forgot. So when this trade here had took me out, I said, okay, it looks like we're going to be going to target up these highs. I immediately switched my bias into some longs, and I put my stops below this candle. That's why I didn't take that second entry. So I'm two trades lost on Thursday, because this is when my emotions got the best of me. I'm being completely transparent. This is when my emotions got the best of me, and I low-key FOMO'd into this trade. And you know how that went. No like, instantly. And I made a video about it. When you get stopped out in 0.5 seconds. I made a video about it. It was well deserved though. I had no business taking this trade. There was no session lows, no session highs. This was just me mad as shit for taking this dumbass short. But Thursday was a bad day for me. But if I had literally just have been patient just a little bit and avoided this chop, my strategy would have hit. I would have noticed this. I would have marked out this fair value gap, waited, entered, and I would have longed it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hindsight traders are always the best traders. Okay, now let's move on to Friday. Friday, I performed well on Friday. Come back Friday. On Friday, what do? Session open, London open, Asian open. Let's move all the way to New York because we only trade my baby New York. Cool. We go down to the 5-minute time frame. Session high. It's so simple, guys. My strategy. If you're saying no way his strategy is this simple, it really is. It really is, bro. If you can't understand it, you're literally like a fucking donut. Boom. That's all. So now, what do? We wait for any one of these levels to get tapped. It taps this level. Boom. Since we tapped this level, I'm looking for fair value gaps. There's this tiny one up here. And there's this tiny one up here that we could potentially take to back up to these highs. Okay, get this. I'm not entering into this long dick of a candle. I'm just not doing that shit. That's fucking ridiculous. So now I flip my bias completely. Now I'm looking for shorts. Why? It's the strategy. This is the high. This is London session high. Sweep up the high. If I get an inverse fair value gap to the downside, I'm taking it. I don't care if it swept this lows again. It can come back and re-sweep it. It's gold. Gold can do whatever it wants. So I'm waiting. And I actually wanted to take a trade off this inverse right here. We didn't get it. Boom. So I took an entry, a short position right here. Stop loss went above the candle. That gave me the stop, the entry. And I was targeting, lows. But I safely like to target a 1 to 1.5 or a 1 to 2. So I went for a 1 to 2. And what happened? Stop loss. But Day, I thought you said you had a comeback on Friday. What happened? I'm gonna show you. I caught a mighty banger. So let's recap. Tuesday, 1 to 1. Wednesday, break even. So I'm still up 1 to 1 on the day. Thursday, lost the trade. So I'm down. Thursday, I lost one trade, so I'm break even. Then I lost the second trade, so I'm down 1% on the account. I now lost this trade, so now I'm down 2% on the account. Right? Then I had one more trade to take because I take 2 trades a day. So I had one more trade to take. I'm waiting. I take this short right here. I enter into a short position right here. Set stops above those highs. And I'm also noticing this fair value gap right here. So I'm waiting still. Boom. We got a closure beneath this. Oh, this was not where I was targeting, by the way. I was targeting a 1 to 1.5, right? Because I just wanted to I'm already down on the week. I'm not thinking this trade is gonna win as good as it fucking did, right? So since you're already down on the week, I'm telling you how you think while you're actually trading, not this backtesting bullshit where you play it out and you say, yeah, I could have caught a 1 to 6. No, nigga, you would have exited your position. This is real trading, right? So this is how I performed. I'm already into one position, right? I see another entry. Boom, right here. Fair value gap inverse. We're still coming off of these highs. Fair value gap inverse. So I noticed I added to my position and brought my stops down to this high, right? Keeping the same risk on and now retargeting another 1 to 1.5 RR. So I was damn near able to double my position size because I added to this position, but I didn't go in with heavy risk. I added a little bit to the position while also moving my stops from all the way up here all the way to down here. So I was keeping on the same risk, right? We're moving. We almost get stopped out. Look at why positioning is very important. Why would you put your stops on this candle when the EMA is right here and there's a candle that's above the EMA? Even here is risky because it could have potentially tapped into this fair value gap. But you only live once. Rocket ship to fucking TP. Which ended up helping me end the week off break even. So, if on Tuesday you followed your rules, you would have hit a 1 to 1.6, not a 1 to 1. If on Wednesday you had followed your rules, you would have hit a full 1 to 2, not break even. So you would be up 3.6%. If on Thursday you had followed your rules, you would be up another 2%, 5%. If on Friday you had followed your rules, which you did on Friday, you would have lost one trade and won the second. This week was supposed to be a monstrous win. This is the reality of trading, man. You will never be as good as your backtesting data. But some people blew accounts this week. Some people would have let what happened to me on Thursday blow their account. I let what happened to me on Thursday be 2 losers. Some people would have been mad that they went break even on Wednesday and tried to FOMO in and blew their account because Wednesday had a lot of pullbacks. I let the break even on Wednesday. I just took one trade and I left. Some people on Tuesday might have held the trade and went back into stop loss and they would have went back into negative and they would have just sold at a loss. But I just took out partials and left with a 1 to 1. So I didn't perform how my system wanted me to perform, but I still performed better than I used to. That is the whole point of day trading. You will never be as good as your backtesting. Never, ever. But the goal is to get as close as possible. That's how I performed this week. I'll make another video next week showing you all the recap of next week. We're going to do better. So what are we going to do next week? No more break evens. Stop loss or TP. That can either really help me or really hurt me, but I've done my backtesting on it. It should help me. And wait for my entries and wait for my setups. The goal next week is to try and trade as good as my system says I should. And let's see what happens. Stay tuned for next week's recap video, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't want to trade live with me every day, you can also go ahead and join the Discord, but you don't have to. You can watch my recaps every week.